William C. Oates commanded the 15th Alabama Regiment that gained notoriety during the Gettysburg Campaign. He was also a veteran of a dozen other major conflicts throughout the Civil War. In the late 19th century, he became an important political figure in the state of Alabama, assuming governorship in 1894. Oates also pursued many other occupations. He was put in the rank of general during the Spanish-American War. Born November 13, 1835 in Alabama, Oates began his professional career before the Civil War as a teacher, painter, and carpenter. Known for his aggressive nature, Oates fled to Florida after fracturing a man's skull in a brawl and drifted through Florida, Louisiana, and Texas until he returned to Alabama prior to the war. In 1858, Oates began practicing law in Alabama, eventually establishing his own practice there with his younger brother, John Oates. At the onset of the Civil War, Oates joined the ranks of the 15th Alabama Infantry Company G as a captain. Oates first saw action during the Valley Campaign under Confederate General Stonewall Jackson. They occurred minimal casualties during their first clash with the Northern troops at the Battle of Fort Royal on May 23, 1862. In the beginning months of 1863, Oates became a colonel of the 15th Alabama. The regiment gained notoriety on July 2, 1863, the second day of the Battle of Gettysburg, by the unsuccessful charging of the Union-held position of Little Round Top, manned by Colonel Joshua Chamberlain in the 20th Maine. Colonel Oates' younger brother, Lieutenant John Oates, was killed in action during the attack. In the years following the war, Colonel Oates publicly held the opinion that had one more Confederate regiment ascended on Little Round Top, the Confederates would have taken the position and turned the tide of Gettysburg. After the defeat at Gettysburg, Oates and the 15th Alabama briefly shipped out to the Western Theater under General James Longstreet and participated in the Battle of Chattanooga. Oates also commanded the troops that opposed the Union crossing of the Tennessee River at Brown's Ferry during the siege of Chattanooga, where his unsupported command was forced to withdraw. After his brief stint in the West, Oates returned to Virginia, where he again participated in decisive battles, countering General Ulysses S. Grant's overland campaign. He saw fighting at the Wilderness, Spotsylvania Courthouse, and Cold Harbor. During July of 1864, he was transferred to the 48th Alabama Infantry, continuing to hold the rank of colonel. Oates was severely wounded in his 27th battle on October 16, 1864, which resulted in the loss of his right arm. Despite suffering his 6th wound of the war, Oates once again returned to the Army and remained in command of the 48th Alabama. After General Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox, Oates returned to his home in Alabama, where he pursued a career in politics. Oates was elected to the United States House of Representatives in 1880, where he remained until he reached the peak of his political career in 1894, being elected as the 29th governor of Alabama. However, he only held the position for 2 years until 1896. The height of his military career commenced itself as President William McKinley appointed him to the rank of brigadier general in 1898, serving during the Spanish-American War. He lived to see the turn of the century, dying on September 9, 1910, at the age of 74. Oates is buried in Oakwood Cemetery in Montgomery, Alabama.